Now, if you've been reading the motoring press recently, you'll be aware that one of the many cars to be launched this year is the new Citroen C5. It's replacing the old Citroen Xantia and is going to take on the likes of Mondeo, Passat and Laguna head-on in the fleet market. But you know, it isn't inconceivable that someone might want to buy this car who isn't a sales rep, someone who doesn't want to hang the suit jacket in the back and be worried about company car tax. So instead of comparing it to all of the other fleet market contenders, why don't we take it on its own merits and see what we think of it that way? Starting with the body design, it's nice to see that Citroen seem to be getting back to their roots with the look of the C5. The old Citroens like the DS were instantly recognisable, and I think they've managed to capture some of that old flair and style with this new shape. The car isn't small either by family saloon standards. It's not quite the longest, but it's definitely the tallest on the market and without seeming bulky. And at the back, as well as the cavernous boot, they prove that you don't have to copy Lexus for your light clusters. Once you get inside, there's nothing too offensive. It's all very well laid out, but Citroen went on for hours about how this curve was the driver curve, and this curve was the passenger curve, and this curve is the shared console. All very French, really. However, the dashboard does house Citroen's usual array of electronic gadgetry. This includes air conditioning, CD player, and further up here in this console, you've got optional satellite navigation and also a handy little parking monitor which will beep at you if you get too near to a wall behind. Another good safety device is there's a monitor on here which lets you know if your tyre pressure is getting too low. Citroen have always been renowned for superb suspension, and in the new C5, the Hydractive 3 is reputed to be the best suspension system yet. They've done away with the miles of expensive piping that were underneath the Xantia and replaced it with electronics. The electronic system is very clever because it's constantly monitoring and changing the suspension setting depending on the roads. So if you're on a long, flat, straight road, you're going to get that legendary, smooth Citroen ride. And as soon as the roads get bendy, the suspension tightens up and you get a much more sporty feel. Now this is a vast improvement on the Xantia because although you got a great ride on the straight, once you got into the corners, it was just far too soft. And you'd often come out feeling car sick. Now it's not only the suspension that's changed in the new Citroen C5, we've also got a new gearbox and a wide range of new engines, starting from a 1.8 and going right up to a 3-litre V6. This is going to offer a wide range of power and also fuel economy to suit all needs. The price range starts at about 14.5 grand and goes up to 23. Now, don't get me wrong, you're not going to get the ride of a Ferrari on the bends and a Mercedes on the straights when you're driving this car, but it is a good all-rounder. And as for electronics, well, there are a few things that I haven't even told you about yet. The windscreen wipers work automatically when it starts to rain. The headlights come on automatically when it gets dark. You can shut the windows and the sunroof automatically from the key fob. This is definitely not a Xantia with curves. It's a completely new car from the floor pan up. And with loads of brand new models in the pipeline, you better watch this space. Yes, I said it all without even mentioning the word fleet.